Welcome you all. Today we are going to discuss about human resource planning. Human resource planning is also one of the important aspect of human resource management. In this concept, we are going to discuss about definition of human resource planning, objectives of human resource planning, levels, process, HR demand forecasting as well as HR supply forecasting. In HR demand forecasting, we are going to discuss about what are the various factors influencing demand forecasting. Along with that, the techniques that are used in HR demand forecasting. This is the flow of today presentation. Now we will see the definition of HRP. Why planning is required? That too especially human resource planning. It is also called as a manpower planning. Why it is so important? Because as we see on the introduction of the HRM, for success, survival and growth and development of any organization, we are using 5 major resources very effectively. Those are material, methods, machinery, money and men. Those 4, the first 4 are easily managed, but whereas human resource management is not that much easy. That is reason why human resource planning is very essential for organization. Now we will see what is the definition of human resource planning. According to the words of E.W. Vetter, he viewed human resource planning as a process by which an organization should move from its current manpower position to desired manpower position. What is current manpower position and what is the desired manpower position? Current manpower position in the sense how many number of employees that are working at present in the company. Desired in the sense what are we expected in the near future course of time. That is what we have to check both the current manpower position along with that desired manpower position, and this planning will be done such a way we have to look the right number of employees. Right number in the sense how many number of employees that are going to be required, and the kind of people. The kind of people in terms of the qualities and qualifications, and the right place, whether they are going to place at a right positions in the organization, and that planning is at right time or not. These are the 4 things which we are going to keep in mind when we are planning for HRP. Right number of employees, right qualities of employee at the right place and right time. By planning like this, both organization as well as individuals are going to achieve their long term objectives. That is the definition given by E.W. Vetter. Moving from its current manpower position to desired manpower position with following right number, right kind of people, at the same time right place and right time. Now next we will see what are the various objectives of human resource planning. The ultimate objectives of human resource planning is to recruit and retain manpower with proper qualities and quantity. In terms of number, in terms of skill, we are going to recruit as well as retain. That we can estimate with the help of HRP. And the second thing, to foresee the employee turnover. That means how many number of employees that are leaving the organization. If number of employees who are leaving the organization, so that for running the organization very smoothly, we have to recruit the people in the organization. That is why always we have to foresee the estimation of manpower. Third thing is to meet the needs of the programs like expansion and diversification. See, once we started a business, when we are getting good results, any company or any management cannot stop then and there itself, because when there is a market opportunity is there for your product and all, always we want to expand our business And once we are expanded our business in the particular geographical area, definitely we are coming up with another new alternative product. At that time, definitely we are require the number of employees. For that also, we can plan HR in the organization. Next thing is to foresee the impact of technology, because today technology is tomorrow outdated. That is the reason why, as per changing of technology, we have to change the employees. If not, existing employees, we have to give a training, and for giving that training also, we have to estimate how many number of employees are readily available to work on the particular new technology, and how many number of employees who are very equipped with the new technology by giving a little training and all. These are all the things we are going to plan in advance. Next, to assess surplus or shortage of human resource, because sometimes how effectively we plan in the organization, there are two situations are there. Either surplus of manpower will be there, that means more than the required. Sometimes shortage, that means less number of manpower what we are estimating. This thing we are going to avoid by planning properly, and to maintain good relations both with employer employee, because sometimes if number of employees are not up to the mark, those who are working in the organization, they will be having a more and more work burden. If those employees who are working in the organization, they are overloaded, automatically it will affect the relations among the individuals. And next thing is to minimize the imbalance caused due to the non-availability, because some of the areas or some of the sectors where the manpower are not available in terms of qualifications. At that time, we are going to replace that particular positions with the available manpower by giving a little training on the work. And the last one is to estimate the cost of human resource. That means how much cost incurred on a manpower or total on HR. This HRP will be helpful. These are the various objectives of human resource planning. Next, we will see what are the various levels of HRP. HRP will plan at a different levels, right from nation to a job level. Now, these levels are categorized into 6 different levels. First one is the national level. National level means the central government is going to plan how much manpower that are required. That means how much manpower required in the sense what kind of industries that are coming in the country, and as per the industry requirement whether the manpower are available or not. If not, they will take the decisions like starting more and more colleges. Suppose if we are requiring more number of engineering graduates, definitely they will started or giving permission to engineering colleges, so that the number of students who are coming out from the colleges, they are going to able to match with the requirements of the industry. Second thing is sectoral level. This sectoral level are categorized into 3 different sectors like agriculture sector, industrial and service sector. Depends upon different kind of sectors, they are planned as per the requirement of qualities and qualifications. Next is industry. The industries are categorized into various types like engineering, heavy industries, paper industries, consumer goods, public utility, textiles, cement, chemical. Is that one size doesn't fit for all. That means one qualified people are not suitable for all the jobs. Depends upon different industries, the qualifications may changes. That is why industry level also we can do. And now the unit level. Unit level in the sense it's all about the particular organization or unit. Corporate means the head office will be there the people will take the decisions. But unit in the sense it is a branch office. There they are going to plan how many number of employees are required in the particular strategic business unit. Now, the department within the organization like production, marketing, finance, HR, R&D and other IT departments and all. In that particular functional areas, how many number of employees are required, that they are going to done at the department level and finally at job level. Job level means it's all depends upon the same kind of job family. Job family means all the nature of jobs which are comes under into the one category. That means the nature of work will be similar. Then that particular jobs will be treated as a one job family. For example, take a marketing. How many number of sales executives are required? That all the sales executives are comes under into the one job family. Like that, this HRP at different levels are going to be assessed in the organization, right from a national point of view to up to the job level. Next, we will see the human resource planning process. In a human resource planning process, before we are going to assess both the internal as well as the external environment. External environment means government policies, at the same time availability of the manpower and even the industry's requirement. All those external environmental factors we have to take care, and at the same time internal environment. Internal means we have to look after what kind of operations we are doing and what kind of jobs that are available and how many number of people that are going to be required. After assessing both internal and external environment, we are going to have a proper strategic planning. Strategic planning means whatever the planning that are decided by the corporate level, that is called strategic planning. Based on the strategic planning, we are going to decide HR, because in the strategic planning along with all other resources, HR is also one of the resources. In strategic planning, they will plan all other resources, along with that HR is also going to be a plan. Like that, after assessing both internal and external environment, next we are going to have a proper strategic planning. From that, we are going to come across with how many number of employees that are going to required in our organization. That is what human resource planning. Here we can see forecasting human resource requirement, how many number of people that are going to be required, and at the same time the availability, how many number of people that are going to be available. Based on that, both requirement and availability we are going to compare. Based on that, we will be having three different things. First condition is after comparing with the requirement and availability, whether the demand is going to equal to supply. Demand is equal to supply. When demand is equal to supply, then there is no problem, because number of requirement and number of availability will be same. Then the second situation is when surplus of workers. Surplus of workers in the sense demand for example 100, the availability of employees will be 125. That means 25 people are more. That means demand and supply is more. That means comparing with demand, supply is more. And the third condition, this is the second condition, demand is less, supply is more. And the third condition, demand is greater whereas supply is less. This situation we are called as a shortage of worker. What we are going to do when surplus is there and when shortage is there? Then it is the responsibility of the HR in the organization, HR department in the organization, to take proper necessary actions when surplus is there in the organization, and at the same time when shortage of workers in the organization. When surplus is there in the organization, they are going to be reduced work hours at the same time restricted the hiring. They won't hire again and again more and more people because already they are having a surplus, and early retirement, layoffs as well as downsizing. What are all these things? Early retirement. Early retirement we will also call as VRS, voluntary retirement from the services. Why voluntary retirement from the services are allowed in the organization? Because we are having excess of manpower in the organization, we are unable to pay for the individuals, and we don't ask all the employees to leave the company. That is the reason why in organization it is one of the activity to ask the employees who are going to be retire at the early, and for this VRS subjected to they have to fulfill some conditions. At least 10 years they have to work, along with that their age should be 40 years. This VRS is also called as a golden handshake. VRS is also called as golden handshake. Why it is called golden handshake? Because at the time of retirement, the company is going to give all the benefits which the employee is going to be avail during course of his employment. That is the reason why it is called as a golden handshake. And opposite of this golden handshake, iron handshake is there. This iron handshake is also called as compulsory retirement from the services. Here, why the organization asks the employee compulsorily to retire from the services means during the stay of the employee in the organization, his performance is not up to the mark. That is the reason why they are forcefully ask the employee to leave the organization, and why the name iron handshake was termed means here, like in golden handshake we are giving all the benefits to the employee, but whereas in iron handshake we are not giving any benefits to the employee. That is why it is called as a iron handshake. And layoff. Sometimes for temporary we are going to stop the work. These temporary layoffs are again power breakdowns as well as machinery breakdowns. We stop the production. Permanent layoffs, at the time we have to give a notice in advance to the employees. Next, downsizing. Downsizing in the sense total reducing the employees in the organization, or sometimes we can make the employees to place in sister organizations. Sister organization means as an organization, if you are having a number of branches, definitely you are going to refer the employees to the other organizations which you are having a contact. Likewise, the surplus of manpower are going to be reduced in the organization. Now the second condition is what you are going to do when shortage of workers in the organization. When shortage of workers are there in the organization, definitely the companies will go for recruitment or selection. Apart from this recruitment and selection, some companies are going with training programs. That means adding more responsibilities to the existing employee. That means whatever the job he is doing, for that job they are going to add more and additional responsibility by giving a little salary increment. That is the reason why some of the employees are ready to accept those kind of jobs. Definitely they can work. Apart from that, they will be using internal mobility. When they are having branch offices at Mumbai and another branch at Hyderabad, if Mumbai is having more number of employees and whereas Hyderabad is having a shortage of employees, definitely they are mobilizing the employees from Mumbai to Hyderabad. Likewise, internal mobility of employees will be done. Internal mobility means movement of employees from one place to the other place within the same organization. Along with that, some companies follows outsourcing. It is very easy because if you are recruit the people, we have to take care of all the aspects like compensation or benefits, everything. For suppose if you are depends on outsourcing, each and everything will be taken care by the agency, only the employees will be coming on the particular time and they can render their services. These are the various activities which we are going to perform in the shortage of workers in the organization. In this condition we are doing. This is how human resource planning will be done. After doing so, still if you are having any problem and all, once again we will go and check with the HRP, human resource planning. Control and review mechanisms are going to be happened. Then we are going to modify one or the other aspects in the organization. This is how human resource planning will be done in the organization. Next we will see HR demand forecasting and factors influencing HR demand forecasting. What is demand forecasting? Demand forecasting means seeing a future course of time, how much number of employees that are required in the organization with the right quantity and quality. That is what HR demand. Forecasting of human resource demand in the process of estimating future human resource requirement of right quality and right number of people. And when we are forecasting, we come across with a number of influencing factors. Those are employment trends. Employment trends in the sense the availability of particular kind of manpower in the outside. That is what employment trend and replacement. Whether we are going to replace some or the other jobs in the organization or whether we are going to add additional positions in the organization. That is also one of the influencing factor. Next is productivity. How much productivity that we are making in the organization, whether we are increasing the productivity in the organization or whether we are going to reduce. When we are increasing the productivity in the organization, definitely there is a requirement of more number of people. Whether we are going to decrease productivity, definitely we can reduce the number of employees. Next, absenteeism. Sometimes employees will absent regularly in the organization because one or the other reason, especially in the production oriented organization. Because in the production oriented organization, the employees were not well educated, so that they are frequently absent to the duties. That is why that absenteeism rate also we are going to consider. The last one is expansion and growth. Just now we are talking about expansion and diversification. Whether the company wants to expand their business or whether the company wants to develop their business in other areas and all. If the company wants to expand their business, definitely there is a requirement of more number of manpower. That is what these are the various factors which influence demand forecasting. Now we will see what are the various techniques which are going to be used for HR demand forecasting. The various methods are managerial judgment method, econometric methods, work study method, ratio trend analysis, Delphi method, and other methods like historical records, comparing with the past records. In the past, how many number of employees that we are recruited in the particular situations and all, or even some techniques that which are going to be used by using statistical methods like correlation and regression analysis. Now we will see these methods one by one. What is a managerial judgment method? Managerial judgment method is a simple approach and it is used both in a small as well as a large organizations, depends upon the requirement. Now you will see this approach is applied both as well as small and large, and those techniques involved in this are categorized into three different approaches. Those are bottom up approach, top down approach, participative approach. Bottom up approach. Bottom up approach in the sense here the lower level people are going to give some or the other requirement to the top level people, so that they will take the decision. That is why it is called as a bottom up approach. Next approach is top down approach. That means the top level people, they can identify what are the requirements of the manpower in the organization, and that is going to be forwarded to the lower level employees. That is why the bottom up approach and top down approach will be followed. Both lower level employees will be given to the information to the higher level people, and higher level people are going to communicate with the lower level people whatever the decision they are going to take in the organization. And another method is participative approach. It is a combination of both bottom up and top down approach, because all the employees are sitting together and they can decide number of manpower requirement depends upon the type of work what they are doing. This is how the managerial judgment we can forecast the demand. And the next method is work study technique. This work study technique is also called as workload analysis. Work study technique is also called as a workload. How much load or how much work that the employees are carrying in the organization. That is why it is named as workload analysis. In this, we will take an example for the calculation part. For suppose, assume the estimated production of the organization is 3 lakh units. The standard man hours required to produce a single unit is 2 hours. The standard man hours required to produce each unit is 2 hours. Now, based on the past experiences shows that the work ability of each and every employee per annum is 1500 hours. Now, here they are given 3 different aspects. How much production that the company is doing in the organization, and how much man hours required to produce a single unit, and at the same time total man hours that a single employee is going to be taken to complete the work per year. These are the 3 things. Based on this, we use it to calculate the number of employees that are going to be required. See here, already the given information is production and the man hours. Based on these production and man hours, we use it to calculate total number of man hours. That means 3 lakh units into 2 hours. From this, we are getting the answer 6 lakh hours. 6 lakh hours is the total time that is taken to produce the goods in the organization. From that, already given data is 1500 units or 1500 hours, man hours are taken by the single individual. Now, the total hours we already got the answer. From that, we can calculate the number of manpower. 6 lakhs divided by 1500, so that the answer is 400. Like this, by knowing various information or workload information, we can calculate requirement of number of employees in the organization. This is about work study technique. Next method is ratio trend analysis. This ratio trend analysis is based on how many number of employees are required, and they are going to compare based on the ratios. Simple, here see, on the basis of ratio trend 1:20. From that 1:20 ratio we used to calculate. See, in these ratios they are going to consider the ratio of production level. The ratio of production level and as well as number of workers that are available. For example, here estimated production for the next year is 1,40,000 units. From 1,40,000 units, estimated number of workers needed. Now they have given 1:20. If 1:20 200 means automatically here 1,40,000 is to 200. Then we can able to know about number of employees. 7. Total 700. Likewise, by knowing the different ratios given in the organization, we can able to estimate the number of manpower. Next method is econometric models. These econometric models are used both with the help of mathematics and statistical techniques, and they are going to estimate the future demand of the employees. Here they are knowing the relationship between dependent variables and independent variables. Under this model, they will be establishing a good relation among dependent and independent. Independent variables are like sales, total production and workload. When we know that sales, total and even workload, it will be changes. Based on these independent variables, automatically we can estimate the number of people that are going to be required, and this method will be used when the companies are running with a n number of people in the organization. Usually large scale industries are using this kind of statistical method called econometric. Next method is Delphi technique. Delphi technique is not consuming much more time, and here the group of experts, or we will also call as a group of managers, they are sitting together and they will take the decision that number of employees that are going to required. Here the human resource experts collect the manpower information and they are going to summarize this by considering various related information, and they will prepare a report. Once they are going to get the final information and acceptance from all the people that number of requirement of manpower, then only they are going to finalize. Simple, all the managers sitting together and they can decide number of manpower that are going to required. And the last technique is, already we have seen the other techniques, those are statistical methods or even trend analysis. And after human resource demand forecasting, next we will see HR supply forecasting. Supply forecasting will depends upon both internal supply and external supply. In internal supply, we can have with the help of transfers, people from one place to the other place, and even sometimes promotion. With the help of succession planning, we are going to promote the internal employees. Next, retired employees. Some companies, private companies, if you see, even after retirement of the employees also, they are calling back because they are not having proper skilled manpower, so that they can avail the retired employees services in the organization. That is how they are going to source the supply of human resources from their internal sources only. And next thing is recall the laid off employees. Sometimes when the excess of people are there in the organization, we are going to laid off for one or the other reasons, and once we are having the requirement, again we have to recall the employees and we are using in the company. Now external sources, the supply and demand, the literacy rate of the nation, and for this we can see the example of here there are requirement of number of engineering graduates for the company demand requirement, especially for the software industries. There are 10 lakh students who are coming out of these colleges and all, only 2 lakh people are having proper qualities and qualifications. Among that 2 lakhs also, only 1.7 lakh people only recruited. That means here the literacy rate will be high, but whereas the qualities and qualification people are not available. Likewise, many factors which are going to influence, sometimes the government policies also. Government policies means some public sector companies, if any vacancies are there, they will give notification. In that notification, they are clearly mentioned that these particular jobs are going to be reserved for a particular backward community or scheduled caste people and all. And those jobs we are going to filled by that particular community only. Sometimes that particular community people are not available, subjected to the organization has to leave those jobs for that particular category, because here the qualification people were not available, and at the same time existing people only we are going to make them to work in the organization. And next, the technological development, rate of population in the country, and even the compensation system. For example, in our company the compensation is good, automatically the people will come and work in our company. And if the company is not giving as per the industry rate, definitely the people will leave the organization, and the others outside people also, they are not showing interest to work in our company. Likewise, various sort of external factors also depends on a supply of human resource. Along with that, the education, experience, skill level, and even age also. For example, some kind of jobs, if you take a sales executives and all, they are giving some kind of bracket to the sales executives. 28-30 years, they won't recruit the people into the sales, because why they are seeing the age for the sales executives between 28 to 30, they will limit the recruitment, because in this particular age the people are very young and energetic, and they can ready to achieve their targets. That is what internal supply and external supply is going to affect on HR supply forecasting. Now we will see how it is going to reflect. Now estimating the internal labor supply for a given unit. For example, see here, current staffing level, the source of inflow, and the unit current staffing level and source of outflow. How the inflow? Just now we are talking about transfer, promotions, and sometimes we are going to recruit the new people, and laid off people also sometimes we are going to recall. Like that, the number of people who are going to in the organization, the current staffing level, and again number of people who are leaving also. Not only we are recruiting the people in the organization, some people who are leaving the organization also. The reasons are employee out. Those are sometimes promotions. Along with that promotion, they are going to the other organizations. Other in the sense, within the same other units they are going to transfer, and sometimes the people will leave the organization, quit, and we are terminate the people, those who are not performing well up to the mark, and even sometimes demotions. Like in the government sector, the demotions will be there, and even some private organizations also, if the employees are not performing well, they are going to demote. Next, some people who are having age cross people, they are going to retire, and one or the other reason, deaths also happening in the organization. Likewise, the source of outflow. Now we can see the number of estimated by knowing all these internal labor supply. Current staffing level minus projected outflow of this year. Current staffing, that means at present how many number of employees are there and how many employees that are leaving, plus how much that we are going to be required. How much that we are going to be required. Based on that, we are going to estimate the units internal supply for the next year. For example, current staff is 100. For example, projected outflow this year is a minus 25. That means to match this 100, 25 people are leaving. Again, we will requiring a 25 more people. We are going to inflow 25 people, and next 100 people are there to run the organization, the work very smooth. Sometimes we have seen different kind of conditions called expansion and diversification. At that time, we can change. We can change in the sense we can include additional number of employees in the organization. For example, this current staffing level, if you want to expand your business, instead of 100, you want 150. 100 plus 50, 150 employees we are going to require. Now what we are going to do here, 25 people already you are knowing that they are leaving, and you are requiring a 150. For example, 150 you are requiring, that means 25 people are leaving, only we are having a 75. That means here we have to take care of 25 plus 50. That means total 75 people, additional people you are going to add. Then this 150 number, whatever we are going to require, that we are going to achieve. This is how the estimating of internal labor supply will be done in the organization. Along with that, one more method is there. That method is called Markov Analysis. This Markov analysis is also called as transaction analysis. Transaction. Why it is named as transaction in the sense changing? For example, in a particular year 2002 and 2003, for example, we have taken in 2002 the number of people that are working in our organization we are mentioned here. The store managers 12 people, assistant store managers 36, section managers 96, and likewise the number of designations we have mentioned. And in 2003, what are the various changes that are going to happen in our organization that we have seen, a number of people who are leaving also that we are estimating here, and sometimes these level of people, different levels of people, we are going to make them into a promotion. Like internal people, we are going to take them for promotion, like succession planning. Existing people only we are going to recruit for a higher level of people. That are all conditions we have taken into consideration and we used to calculate. Here the red indicates that transition percentage, change of percentage, and this milk white indicates that actual number of employees. For example, here store managers. At present in 2002, 12 people are working. In that 12 people, the store managers, 11 people were there and one candidate was left, exit from the organization, and 12 people. Definitely we are having a requirement. Likewise, we are seeing assistant managers who are capable for store managers. Assistant store manager who are capable for store managers. 4 people are capable, 11%. That means assistant managers here 36 people are there, 30 people are in the existing level, and 4 people are eligible for promotions, and 2 people are leaving the organization. Likewise, section managers. Here section managers are 96 people. Among these 96, the section managers, 11 people are eligible for promotions because they are going to fit their qualifications and performance for higher level promotions. And department managers, section managers who are not performed well, they are going to demote. 8 people were demoted and 14 people who are left the organization. Likewise, each and every position we are going to assess, and after assessing we can able to know that. See here, the forecasted supply. Here whatever we are forecasted, the forecasted supply indicates that 11 people were stayed in the organization and 4 people were eligible for promotion and 1 person is left the organization. That means here 15 people were there. Now actually how many people we are going to have a requirement? 12 people. Now here forecasted supply will be 15 is there. For example, if we are expanded, definitely we are having a +3 additional store managers. For example, if you are running like a more supermarket or D-Mart or Big Bazaar, definitely they will be having a, on rotation basis people requirement will be there. For those sort of big chain stores and all, these kind of methods are very useful. And next, assistant store manager. Here we are having 36 people, and in the 36 we are seeing that next 41. In the 41, the section managers who are eligible for promotions 11 people. That means 30, 11 and 2 people are already left, only 41. That means we are having a more. That means additional 5 people were more here. Like that here 96, here the shortage. Here the shortage, even after some of the department managers who are eligible for section managers. Like that, based on knowing all these things, the recruitment notification will be given for the organization to attract the people in the organization. These are the various methods of supply forecasting. For this, we will end today's session, and before going to end today's session, let us see what we discussed. Definition of human resource planning, objectives, levels of HR planning and HR process, demand forecasting and supply forecasting. And finally, we will conclude with the quotation given by Jim Collins: great vision without great people is irrelevant. That means without great people, manpower, whatever the vision that we are going to estimate for the future, it is going to be irrelevant. That is the reason why human resource planning will be required or necessary for the competitive organization to stay in the market. Thank you very much. Next session we are coming with another topic of HRM. Thank you.
Thank you.